Welcome to the Sun Parlour Coffee House Sessions. I'm Jan Hall from Folk Roots Radio. Kim Doolittle is a singer-songwriter and storyteller with a bluesy style and a big splash of self-deprecating humour. Her latest album, Into the Blue, was produced in Toronto with Ken Whiteley and features a mix of blues and roots and gospel and folk with a nod to the kitchen parties of a Nova Scotian childhood. She's our special guest in the studio today. She's coming up right now. Enjoy.
Hi, everybody. This song is called Into the Blue, the title track of my new album, aptly called Into the Blue. And I'm joined by Saskia Tomkins and Ted Staunton. I hope you like it. Into the blue, into the blue, made some changes that were overdue. Gray clouds lifting, new horizon coming into view. Move on through into the blue. I put my hands in the good brown earth and trying to see our soul. Rain and warmth and the bright sunlight, I watch that little seed grow. Into the blue, into the blue, made some changes that were overdue. Gray clouds lifted, new horizon coming into view. Moving through into the blue. The crimson red of the bright sunlight, and I feel the world aglow. Let that warmth wash over me. Let that music flow. Into the blue, into the blue, made some changes that were overdue. Gray clouds lifted, new horizon coming into view. Moving through into the blue. Well, there's a rainbow in the palm of my hand. It's like a spectrum in the sky. Move on through that black and white. Let that music fly. Into the blue, into the blue, made some changes that were overdue. Gray clouds lifted, new horizon coming into view. Moving through into the blue. Oh, moving through into the blue. Moving through into the blue. This song, Let the River Run, is written with the Annapolis Valley in mind as a metaphor for the passing of time. and a reunion with some great old friends. And as I pulled over, very late getting home, and I was watching the river run, a composite of this song came to me, and Ken Whiteley helped me finish it, and it is called Let the River Run. I ran these roads when I was young, from these rolling hills a river sprung. The days go by till it's said and done. You gotta let that river run. We swam this river when life was new. We jumped right in without a clue, so full of dreams of all we do. We had to let that river run. River runs through the valley, river runs to the sea, river runs through you, and it comes back to me, and you've gotta let that river run. Went to a city when it came my turn, had songs to sing and things to learn. A part of me longs to return, but you gotta let that river run. River runs through the valley, river runs to the sea, river runs through you, and it comes back to me. You gotta let that river run. And now springtime is a long time behind me. Colored leaves are falling from the trees. When I see your face, I go back to the place where the river keeps on running free. Here's to us. Now I see through all we've been and ought to be. You're still you and I'm still me. We had to let that river run. Oh, we had to let that river run. Okay, this song, my sarcastic nature, is coming out, and this is my protest to singing the song Bobby McGee. I had a cruise ship gig, and there was a guy who was insisting night after night after night that I do it. And one night I had enough, and I walked into a bathroom and wrote it out on paper towel and brought it in, and this is what I sang to him. It'll be a snowball's day in hell before I sing Bobby McGee. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I used to sing everywhere from the suburb, trying to raise up my rents. And I used to sing every dang request, and now my soul is spent. These days I'm far more particular, and I'm singing more for me. And it'll be a snowball's day in hell before I sing Bobby McGee. I used to go drink for drink with every yahoo with a double fist. Sobriety caught up with me. It's legendary, all the fun that I missed. Oh, now that I'm an artiste, I think I might take some liberties. And it'll be a snowball's day in hell before I sing Bobby McGee. Shake me, smack my guitar clear across my head. If I had the choice between death and singing Bobby, I think I'd rather be dead. Now don't get me wrong, when Chris Christopherson wrote that song, he didn't think it was gonna get beaten up half to death by every half-baked guitar picking chick singer wearing denim and a leather vest. And I'm not choking out even one more note. You are not even gonna get a la-di-da to me. And it'll be a snowball's day in hell before I sing Bobby McGee. Water with Satan himself before I sing Bobby McGee. No, not me. One, two, I buckle my shoe, yeah. Oh my, my poor boy. Oh my, my poor boy. Oh my, my, oh my, my, oh my, my poor boy. Too much month at the end of the money. Oh my, my, oh my, my. If you could hear yourself, you wouldn't listen. I'm sorry about all the fun you've been missing. You're grumpy and you could be kissing a little girl like me. Oh, can't you see? Oh, my, my poor boy. Oh, my, my poor boy. Oh, my, my, oh, my, my, oh, my, my poor boy. Too much month at the end of the money. Not enough loving at the end of the honey. Oh, my, my, oh, my, my. Oh, well, we're 2 checks away from getting ahead. And I guess we'll be working until we're dead. I'd rather be loving you instead. Come back to bed. That's what I said. Oh my, my poor boy. Oh my, my poor boy. Oh my, my, oh my, my, oh my, my poor boy. Too much month at the end of the money. grumpy, baby, you ain't funny. Oh my, my, oh my, my. Oh my, my, oh my, my. Oh my, my, oh my, my. Oh my, my, oh my, my.
That's Kim Doolittle live in the Sun Parlour Coffee House Session studio today with Ted Staunton and Saskia Tomkins.
Yes.
Fabulous to have you join us
Thanks.
today.
Thank you. You're one of the first people who programmed my album.
You know, I love the album. The album is Into the Blue, produced with Ken Whiteley in Toronto.
And co-written 6 of the tunes.
Now, this is your 9th album, but
It is.
when I was reading about the album, you talked about this album actually almost encompassing your career. You know, one
Pretty
of
much.
the neat thing is you grew up on the East Coast in the Maritimes in Nova Scotia.
Yep.
You're now living in the Oshawa area?
I live around Port Hope, Coburg area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And I've been, well, I took off when I was 18 for 2 weeks and I still haven't come back yet, put it that way. And I've been traveling and playing music, and so I find myself out around the Port Hope area now.
It was interesting because you made a big thing about, 45 years in music, I think. This 9th album kind of brings it all together because it's an opportunity for you to indulge your love of the blues. There's a bit of gospel, a bit of folk in there, lots of humor. And I mean, that comes through in your music.
Well, I think you have no choice but to have some humor nowadays, right? And you just have to roll with the flow. And musicians tend to use humor, I think, as a coping mechanism too, because we work very hard and we're in a very competitive market. And I think that people want to be entertained on more than just one level. So if you can bring that to the table, I can't see why you wouldn't, right? So all of these songs, this is the album that had been in my head all those years, but maybe it took making the other 8 to get the sound to what it is now. Do you see what I mean? Because if you listen to the ones prior, they all had bits and pieces, and then the whole composite came together with Ken.
And do you think that was one of the big things about being able to work with Ken? You
Absolutely.
mentioned, I think, that not only did he produce the album, but he also helped you on 6 of the songs?
Yeah, he did. Like, I thought they were finished, 3 of them, and he's like, no, they're not done. And I was like, what do you mean? And he would put a chord in that shouldn't work, and it did, or he would take the words and edit them so that instead of having 15 words to make a point that can be done in 4, and he started to make me really think about how to get the point across without being too verbal, for lack of a better word, make the point. And we wanted to do stuff that was reflective of people in the middle years, looking back. Part of it is about that, part of it's about growing up in the East Coast. And then the journey from that point, like Memphis Moon and several of the songs, Into the Blue, weren't even intended for this album, but he said to me in musician speak, you need a gajonka-junk. And I go, what? And this is what I'll show you what a gajonka-junk is. It's this. He goes, well, we've got all these different tempos, but you need one of these. I went, oh, okay. So we wrote Into the Blue. And I don't think there's one song that it didn't take us an hour, maybe 2 at the most. With everything we wrote, it was just instant. It was just a fit somehow.
And Into the Blue became the title of the album.
I know. Well, I showed him the picture, which is the title of me running on the beach, jumping in the air in Argentina. And he went, that's the album cover. And I said, well, I'd like to write a song called Into the Blue about that. And that's when that came together. So that was not planned, nor was Memphis Moon.
Did you find that this has changed your career? And, when you're making an album like this, when you've been making music for so many years, has it inspired you further, do you think?
It makes you become very particular about where you want to go and where you want to place yourself, not because you think you're elite. It's got nothing to do with that. But to take the path of somebody who writes original music is very hard. So I aspire to that, and it's not always easy. It's not an easy road, but I get more satisfaction doing original music and working with original people than I do the other.
Is that why you mentioned about original music, and you told a story about being on the cruise ship and getting asked to sing Bobby McGee again
and again
and again, and that inspired the wonderful Snowballs
Day in Hell
song.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it, now you're at that point, though, you really do want to make sure that the music you make is music that has come, from
It has to resonate with the time and what I'm thinking, and it has to be authentic. And I'm finding that with what we did here with Ted and Saskia, it's pared down to 3 people, which brings the song forward as opposed to the band.
I'm curious about your influences. You know, we've all been enjoying your music in the studio today. Who do you cite as your main influences? For
I
the
would
music you make?
say I'm very, very akin. I really feel black music, as in gospel and blues, very strongly, because I grew up being very closely tied to a black community and was taught inadvertently that music through my friends' mothers when they would be playing Mahalia Jackson and all this gospel on Sunday, and then I ended up singing in the church a few times and pirate radio. So I never wanted to listen to anything commercial. It didn't do it for me, but anything that had a good groove and a good rhythm, I was all over that. And so that's where it started. But on the East Coast, we're folkies down there too, and acoustic players, so the two melded. So my entire career, nobody's really known what to do with me because I'm not one or I'm not the other. I'm both, and then other things, depending on how you evolve as a musician or what phase you're in with what you're singing. So my instrument is this, just like anybody has an instrument, that's mine. So there was the country phase, the blues phase, the jazz phase, but when you put them all together with what your foundation is, you end up having music that has many influences.
If people want to learn more about your music, how can they do that?
You go to Kim Doolittle Music and all my stuff is on there. I mean, I have a wonderful person who does all my web stuff and everything, and she's a very talented lady, and I'll just call her. And so she's got everything on there you could possibly want. There's downloads and there's videos and there's pictures, there's whatever you need. It's that kind of a site. And then just come out to the shows, and if people want to get in touch with me, email me. I've had people mail me wanting to know when, and I keep it up to date. And starting in January, my intention is to be back playing full-time by June in next year, because I've always been a full-time musician. But I took the last 5-6 years off to recalibrate.
That's great.
Yeah.
So KimDoolittlemusic.com to check out everything about
Thank
your
you again
music.
for playing the album.
Oh,
I can't
my
tell you
pleasure.
how much
It's a
I
great
appreciate
album.
it.
Yeah. Kim Doolittle with Ted Staunton and Saskia Tomkins in the Sun Parlour Coffee House Session studio.
May all your blues be the musical kind.
Under the Memphis Moon was aptly written coming home from Memphis when I had realized that I had to change my musical situation. And some people think it's about a breakup, and it is. It's about a musical breakup, but it's about not just that. Under a Memphis Moon is about finding my own voice. And I didn't write it with a guitar in hand. I sang it into my phone on the cab on the way to the airport. And then I worked on it in my head at the airport and on the plane, and got off the plane, and the next day I finished it with Ken Whiteley. And I love this song. It's very groovy. East Memphis motel room. You didn't leave 1 minute too soon. Your fading lights, you know they dim my gloom. Tonight I sang to my own tune. I won't be grieving. Are you leaving? Ooh. This is where that rubber meets the road. Under a Memphis moon. High def, I'm gonna comb my hair. My lips are red and my skin is fair. I might dance real tight with a mocha man. Going out tonight, ain't got no plan. That moon's like velvet. Nah, nah, I'm not done yet. Last chance gas and barbecue under a Memphis moon. I went on down to Old Beale Street. Neon lights and cops on the beat. And I went to a club where I played last night. The air is cooking and I feel alright. And there's bodies swaying, music playing. Ooh. And now I'm finally in my groove under a Memphis mood. Nobody gonna make me feel like less than the woman that I've become. Gotta get doing the things that need doing till the doing becomes undone. Can't be looking in a rearview mirror at something I'm leaving behind. Getting down with the Beale Street crowd under a Memphis mood. Yeah. Down and my eyes are bright, and I feel like I just danced all night. Let that morning sun find me here. I feel my trouble disappear, and the air is heavy all along the levee. Let that Mississippi flow under a Memphis mood. Under a Memphis mood. Under a Memphis mood. Under a Memphis mood. Oh, under a Memphis mood.